And so from traveling back to manufacturing, and I ask Roberto Ciceri, CEO of Beta, to join us.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Roberto Ciceri. I'm the CEO of the Beta Group. Thank you, Alessandro and Gianni and the TIP team for giving me the opportunity to introduce the group to you today. A few of you know it already. We call ourselves unconventional thinkers due to the fact that in the past century, our company is 101 years old. Until last century, an Italian company would not be allowed to think it was entitled to be a leading brand in a technological field like the professional hand tool business that we're in. The Germans first, the French, before them the British, not a Mediterranean company like Italy. We proved them wrong. Today we are in Europe, and I will later on explain to you why I'm constantly speaking around about Europe. We are today the leading single professional hand tool brand in Europe. This is a video that sums up what we are.
Like any other, it's a verb that defines us as human beings. That is why whenever we do something, some of us are convinced that there is only one way to do it well. Just like Beta. In Beta's world, everyone for 100 years has been channeling their energy towards one single goal, doing every single thing to achieve excellence, driven by 4 values. Audacity. To invest and constantly relaunch an enterprise created by an Italian craftsman, which has asserted itself worldwide and continues to grow after 4 generations. Commitment. Because every reseller knows he can count on a reliable and timely service, and every user knows he can rely on the precision, quality and resistance of better products. Harmony. Because when something is well done, it expresses a perfect balance between function and design. Talent. The one thing that distinguishes all our people and every professional who chooses Beta to leave nothing up to chance in the engaging and passionate fulfillment of their ideas and dreams. This is what makes us who we are. Us and everyone who uses, follows and loves Beta. Convinced by nature and vocation that there is only one way to do things, doing them well.
Well done, dominant performance.
We are not to financials yet, but let me show you who we are. Today we are basically an Italian group. We were born in 1923 out of the Beta company. In 2016, TIP joined us, and we basically kept our values. We stretched our vision. We dramatically improved the way we execute our strategy. We started an acquisition path in 2016. By now we have purchased 6 companies, and then twice we merged 2. So basically we are 4 acquired companies and the Beta company, the group basically 5 companies together. We have 10 headquarters and manufacturing plants based in Italy. We have 11 subsidiaries, we will see later on, in the world. 8 of them in Europe, becoming 9 soon. Why no international acquisitions? Not for our mentality or culture. I myself spent a few years abroad. I lived abroad. I was born speaking more than 1 language. Our managers are mostly bilingual or trilingual. This is just a matter of opportunity. Italy offers tremendous opportunities for our purchasing activity, and we insist in that direction. We looked abroad, never ended up with a solution. Not until now. We are open to it, but as of today, this is what we are. 11 subsidiaries worldwide, as I said, mostly in continental Europe, 3 overseas being in China, Brazil, and USA. The reason being that our business, which is a very fragmented business among many brands, is basically a continental business. It was born basically last century and stayed very continental. The Americans, until they came and bought companies in Europe, stayed in the USA. Europeans stayed in Europe. Asians were born and stayed in Asia. 60% of our group export, which is account for about 41% of the total business, is performed by our directly owned commercial and logistics subsidiaries. Our revenues, just to give you at a glance what we are, it took my family actually 92 years to go up to 125, 130 million. Then Tip joined the company. As I said, we stretched our vision, and today we doubled our size in the past 8 years. Not only through acquisitions, also by internal growth. Let me also point out, as some of you have done before in their presentation, we had a COVID year, which was particularly tough for our industrial activities. And 2021 was a supply chain mess in the world for our business. We reacted, and I would say we reacted better than most of the companies in our business at a European level, and we were able to perform like you see today. The revenue breakdown with the acquired company is as follows. So Beta still accounts for over 70% of the total. The 4 other companies for less than 30%. These companies are typically, of course, smaller companies, weaker companies. When we buy them, we integrate them, we make them stronger, we give them a different perspective. It takes time. In our business, it takes time to be able to reach this level. And we will see later on, this also is true for our profitability. It takes between 2 and 4 years to be able to bring these companies up to our original Beta profitability. R&D investments, we spend around between 5 and 6% of our turnover in investments for product development, industrial investments, of course, quality. And this is quite stable over the years, even though we are growing. We do keep the figure 5-6% stable in the years. Our people also grew with our revenues. I consider the new generation, the 5th generation of my company, 2016, starting in 2016. So we went from 500 to 1,030, actually a little bit more today, 1,050 staff. Our goal, what's our goal? Our goal is to be the leading provider of hand tools, power tools, and MRO equipment for the professional end user. MRO standing for maintenance, repair, overhaul, or operations. Who is the professional end user? He's typically a guy or a company working in the maintenance of automobiles, industrial maintenance, energy, ground transportation, aeronautics, oil and gas, hydraulics, electricity, craftsmen, you name it. Whoever takes something in their hand to do something is, for us, professionally, of course, is for us a potential customer. Our commitment is to be an outperforming solution provider to our distributors. We do not deliver directly to our end users. We go through a network of distributors. 3 points: outstanding product quality and design, an uncomparable logistics performance, and a legendary brand. Brand in our business is very important. So talking about product quality and design, let me show you some pictures of basically what we do. We do hand tools, power tools, workshop equipment. We work on connectors for electric cables, safety shoes and workwear, abrasives, welding equipment, fittings for wires and ropes. Our distribution is much wider than this, and this gives us a very interesting potential for growth in the future. Logistics, as I mentioned, we deal with over 40,000 SKUs, and our logistic performance is about being at any day during the year above 96% of FPA, which means first peak availability. Simply speaking, you send us an order of 1,000 SKUs, we deliver within 24, 48 hours, 960, 970, 980. The remaining products, being very important, delivered maximum 1 week. The average of our industry is between 70 and 75%. So this is a top performance on our side. Brand. We have been quite famous in our industry for our brand. How have we invested in our brand? Of course, the racing world. Some of you may know that we have been in the racing world for quite a long time. So we started in the late 60s, 1968, by using the motor racing world as a communication mean, but also a very strong partnership in terms of technical growth. They stress products, they give you information, they allow you to grow and to develop better products. We are still today a highly requested partner for the Formula world of racing. It's not about only Formula One, it's about Formula 1, 2, 3, 4, and other categories. We are just about anywhere in the motorsports, in the MotoGP world, MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3, Superbike, Supersport, just about in every team. Same relationship, we give them products, they give us back information, we learn, we grow, we improve. This is really about my family at the beginning. We have been dedicated well before ESG waves, late waves that we are encountering now. We have been very much dedicated to sustainability. Basically, we work with metals and plastics, so steel and plastic, all recyclable. We had a problem on packaging. We worked on packaging. Right now, we are very much into recyclable materials for packaging. We are going heavily into solar energy. And we, of course, do a lot for our people internally. We help mostly our families in terms of university and school education. Our solar investments, very quickly, 4 major plants in Italy are almost all well above 50% of energy autonomy. We produce our own energy. This is increasing. The only limitation being a law in Italy that allows you only to do 1 megawatt per plant. I hope this will change and we will keep on investing on this. Welfare, as I said, school and university education. This is a late idea that we had in the company. We do not pretend that we can encourage birth or adoptions, but we do give out, we do help economically our families when they decide to make such an economic effort. We also do some social contributions. What you see here is just an example, a device. We put together our technicians, a bicycle manufacturer and a wheelchair manufacturer. This device allows a person that has problem in walking, basically, to go around 25, 30 kilometers at a speed between 0 and 15 kilometers an hour, and of course improve her mobility. Little bit of facts and figures. We today, as I said, still basically perform over 2/3 of our turnover with the Beta company. As a group, we used to be actually higher at export. We purchased companies that were basically domestic companies. So we increased back again the domestic share of our market, which is, as I mentioned before, little less than 60%, a little over 40%, but growing the export share. Interesting to see that this is performed mainly in the continental European market. We have our own subsidiaries that are our best performance in Europe. Actually, these percentages may seem low at a first glance, but take Spain, for example, with 4.1% of revenue with respect to the overall Beta Group. We perform about 10, 11 million in Spain, and we are the number 2 brand in the market with this share. As I said, a very fragmented market. In France, with 7%, we are around 13 to 14 million, and we are number 3. The remaining countries in Europe being managed by independent importers. There will be some changes because the model is definitely, for sure, implementing more direct controls through subsidiaries of each single market. But here again, in Portugal, 1.25%, 3.5 million of revenues. We are the first leading brand in the market. So we believe altogether in Europe we total make a little over 90%. This is actually not a problem for us, basically, in a 20-minute presentation for this reason. This is a 20-minute presentation graph. How big is our market in Europe? Our market is basically on total hand tools. Hand tools is everything, so it's very hard to say which hand tools are our hand tools, but it's over 12 billion, in which, getting down to something that is more understandable for us and more referable to us, mechanics hand tools makes up for 4 billion, auto repair hand tools 4 billion. In Italy itself, the market for mechanics hand tools is 500 million. We have a share between 22 and 24%. This is just to say, by the way, in other businesses we're in, other industries, this is just to say that when you play your game in Europe, the game field is much, much bigger than what we are today. Still tremendous room to grow available. 3 extra European subsidiaries, small subsidiaries, altogether 3.6% of our group turnover, around 10 million. Well, first of all, 10 million out of today's budget, 280 is not bad. But mostly important, it gives us a chance to have some small beacons, small windows in each very far away market and understand what's happening in the States, in South America, and in Asia. So altogether, rest of the world makes up for 10%, but is definitely not our strategy today. We have a long way, still a very long way to go in Europe. Highly profitable, good opportunity for us. So we will, for sure, insist in the next few years, in continental Europe for our growth. What happened to our sales? As we saw before, we grew since 2015-16 up to last year's 259 euros. Budget this year is 59 million euros. Budget this year 280, 281. Where are we today? We are somewhere in between. Our market is between -8, depending on the industry, -8 and -14%. We are growing. And I have to say we encountered headwinds in the first part of the year. We are pushing back in the second part of the year. We are hoping to be somehow close to our budget. Where do we see our future? Well, let me first give you a glance at our profitability. Where do we see our future? Well, first of all, in our numbers, you may see that our profitability in terms of percentage versus net revenues decreased. This is due to 2 facts, basically. Acquisitions, companies that were less profitable than we were as a beta company before. Second reason, most important, we have embedded in our cost structures what we call growing costs. We estimate in a few millions today in our balance sheet, we have a few millions of what we call growing costs. We're spending money to grow. We're investing in growth, not only in CapEx terms, but in cost terms. We will keep on growing like this. When I first met Gianni and he came to visit the company, he looked at the company a couple of times and he told me, you deserve to be a €1 billion company. I listened to him and we're working on that. So the idea is to keep on spending and to sail towards what we call our $1 billion target in the future. To an engineer, the right question would be when. The answer is confidential. I will not say that. Thank you. Grazie.